yeah, guys. About to get another show started. You guys ready for Friday? Count them down, guys. Count them down. Oh, yeah. We got about 1 minute left, guys. 1 minute. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into the Vital Active Network. So we broadcast this program daily, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from the southwest tip of Virginia, United States of America. We call it the Vital Axiom. My phone's going crazy on me. Sorry, guys. I just lost all my background music. Just like that, it went away. Maybe it's going to come back. Let's see. I had all that beautiful rollout just going to town, and then the thing blew up on me. Here we go. Let's try it. The Vital Axiom stands for crucially important eternal truth because we use the Word of God as the foundation for our conversation, and we're going to do that again today. That was weird, wasn't it? I'll tell you what happened when we get in here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Vital Axiom here on the internet. It's been one of those mornings. How you guys doing good today? Welcome in to have you on the show. Good to have you on the show. Good today. So what I forgot to do was take my phone off the internet and get it clear, so the phone started ringing. I don't really know who was calling. I had to cancel it, but anyway, sorry about that. That was kind of backwards wacko, but we got in here anyway. Today's number 1858. How are you guys doing? Let's see if we got anybody showing up. And hey, good morning, Clara. How are you doing? Good to see you on here. Good day to you. Good morning, Miss Murphy. How are you doing over here on Facebook? Happy Friday. On the Vital Axiom official page, my mother-in-law Joyce is there. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Jim. Hey, Dodie, Becca. How are y'all doing? Hello, Aaron. How are you doing? How's Deb? Patricia made it in. Good morning, Patricia. Amanda's in here. And let's see if anybody's over here. Heather's here as usual, right in her local location. Good morning, Heather. And then that's about everybody. That's everybody. I'm so sorry about the intro. I was all fired up and everything just went sideways. Oh, man, I tell you. I want to do this old Chris Tomlin song. It says, you're a good, good father. Because he is. He's faithful. And we're thankful for God today. So just join me as we sing it today. Come on. Doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, the Lord loves you. And He's offered you an opportunity to step out of a sinful, cursed life and step into a life that is redemptive, that will save you. How's everybody doing today? Anybody else get into the show? Rose got in. Good morning, Rose. Mom got in there. Daniel says, you need to come see the trail and support me, old buddy. I know it's just so much going on. I got company in this weekend. I'm trying to sing this morning on biscuits and eggs and bacon. Oh, have mercy. Good morning, Patty. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Patricia. I think that Miss Debbie made it in. And anybody else I don't want to miss anybody. I just want to make sure everybody's here for the show. And I say hello if they say hello to me. We're wrapping up this conversation this week on being watched. At first, it sounds kind of creepy. It's like, whoa. But we find out that the originator of surveillance is God, and not in a negative sense like it is in America where they're watching everything you do. But God is watching you for two reasons, one or the other, and that is to bless you or to your judgment day, which I guess, if you're not going to live right and walk with the Lord, it might be a bad thing. So we wrapped up this conversation yesterday as we left about the three kinds of works: things you do, things you say, and things you think, and that God is watching all of those. He's watching everything. Just like, how your phone does. You say, hey, man, I was looking for a 4-post lift for a car. Just went on, did a couple searches for that. I'm telling you guys, every single social media app that I have now keeps bringing up advertisements of 4-post car lift, drive on car. I'm like, really, y'all? Do I really need all that? I think I'm capable of it. And so we know if social media is watching, God is watching to the point where He's got your hairs of your head numbered. He knows your every thought. He really does. He has a record of it all. For me, 42 years of ministry, records of everything. And that's why I'm so thankful for His mercy and forgiveness. But also, I'm thankful that God pays attention to what I'm doing because He's going to bless me in accordance to that. And that's what I want to talk to you about, that the reason it's important, one of the reasons it's important for you to be involved in the kingdom work is because of what's coming in heaven. So here's what I said yesterday at the end of the show, and then we'll jump into the conclusion. Salvation is your ticket to heaven. Works are what your heaven will look like. Paul uses a building and a foundation as his example. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 3:11. For no one can lay any foundation other than what is being laid, which is Christ. So we know you don't get to start except on Christ. And then he says this, check this out. I want you to look real close. This is the part I want to focus on as we close. If anyone builds on the foundation with gold, silver, or precious stones, wood, hay, or straw. How do you build like that? Each builder's work will be plainly seen. That means we get to heaven, we're going to stand before God. For the day will make it clear, because it will be revealed by fire. Now get this now. And the fire will test what kind of work each one has done. So we come into the foundation of Christ. That's the only thing we can really work on or build on is Christ. And then we build at different levels of quality or expense or sacrifice to us. And it gives this list here: gold or silver or precious stones. And then it switches categories to consumables, let's say. Wood, hay, or straw. And these are all these different qualities of material are based on the kind of work. We said there was good work, bad work, and poor work. And they're based on those things: your motivation, why you did it, what was in your heart, what was going on. Now let me read on because I want you to see this. So if what someone has built survives, he will receive a reward. So we're going to go up into heaven, and all that our works are going to be there, seen in this example as a structure. And then it's going to be set on fire, tested in the oven of heaven. And then whatever comes back, if it is like, okay, well, look at that, man. We know fire refines stones and gold and all that. It refines it. It purifies it. We know it consumes wood, hay, and stubble or straw. If someone's work is burned up, now I want you to see this because this is a picture of heaven most of you have never paid any attention to. If you're around me long enough, you're going to hear it because this is one of my favorite things to talk about because I want believers to be prepared for their eternity and not this goofy thing that church preachers have told them about. You go and get to heaven, have your own cabin in the corner, glory land. It's all going to be running around in angels' wings. We're not going to become angels. I don't know if you know that. Nobody goes to heaven. Oh, he went to heaven to become an angel. No, he didn't. He went to heaven and became the redeemed. He's not. We don't become angels ever. We never. I don't know what's happened with the electronics there, those little squirrely things. We never become angels. We never do. And if anybody tells you you're going to go to heaven and be an angel, or my little baby died and she's in heaven, she's an angel, she's not. That's not true. They're not angels. If someone's work is burned up, now listen, I want you to listen to this close. He will suffer loss. Where is that happening at? Heaven. Think about that just for a minute. If someone's work is burned up, all this spent his whole life doing, but it was all shallow, selfish, self-motivated, done out of control, manipulation, or for attention, or whatever. If someone's work is burned up, he will suffer loss. And where will that happen? In heaven. He himself, now get this, this is such a powerful thing we don't ever talk about. He himself will be saved, but as through fire. What does that mean, as through fire? Well, imagine if you have a next door neighbor who wakes up in the middle of the night and his house is on fire, and he grabs his kids and his dog and jumps out the window, and before the fire department get there, the house is gone, and he's standing there in his pajamas with his kids. That's what it's like. You get there, but you have nothing to show for it. Now, I don't know about you. I'm talking to you, but I don't know about you. I don't want to have that kind of heavenly experience. I don't want to get there and have nothing to show for my Christian life. I don't want to get there. And we're talking about Christians now. This is not people being cast into outer darkness. Let me read it again real slow, not because you need to hear it slow, but I want to break it down so we have a clear understanding. If someone, a Christian now, a believer, someone's work is burned up, he will suffer loss. He himself will be saved, but as through fire. So what does this moment look like for you right now? You got time to change it. I mean, I don't know if you got today or tomorrow, or another 10 years, but you've got time to change it. If you were to stand before God this very moment, what would be burned up of what you've done? And if you deceive yourself, you're the one's going to lose. I want you to think about why you've done what you've done, why you're doing what you're doing. What is the motivation? And when that happens, then you're going to find out whether it will make it or not. I want you to see that. So we have to ask ourselves in this moment, what do I want that moment in heaven to look? Could you imagine being there, all of heaven is watching, and your whole life is a puff of smoke, and you look around and you get no reward? And I think there'll be everything in between. There'll be some people who get some reward, high reward. I mean, can you imagine being in line behind Paul the Apostle? Can you imagine that, being behind that when his work built upon the foundation of Christ is tried, it will come back glorious. He will be. We know that because he gave his life for the gospel. I mean, crazy stuff. And the disciples, and many people throughout the history have really. You don't have to die, of course, but you may. Think about that just for a minute. What if that moment happened right now? If you're dead, and now you're standing before. We know it's not going to happen individually. It's going to be collectively at one time. It won't be when you die. It'll be when the judgment happens, which could be close to the same time, but we don't know when he's coming and when that's going to happen. But if it was your turn in line right this minute, this second, if your life ended now and you couldn't do another thing, what would that moment look like for you? Would there be great works that survive the fires of God, and God says, well done, look at this incredible thing you have received? Or will you be standing there with nothing and say, well, it couldn't be heaven? Well, that's what Paul says. You argue with Paul the Apostle, I can't argue with you. And I've always wondered, why would God wipe tears away in heaven? This might be one of the reasons. This might be one of the reasons why tears get wiped away. Because we're crying over the fact that we wasted our whole life and didn't do anything, or nothing of value, nothing lasting. And I know you might be thinking, well, since I did it, it has to be lasting. Not true. All of us can have bad motivation, selfishness, narcissism. We can all be looking for attention or power or control. There's a lot of reasons why we do things. Can you imagine that moment, though? Not only the embarrassment, but how about the reward? Imagine if you've given your whole life and you've just sincerely served the Lord with all your heart, humbled yourself before God, and done the things no one would do and the things that people would do. You were there in those times of the spotlight, but then you were behind and you said, God, here it is. Can you imagine what that reward's going to be like? I can't imagine. So here's what I said to the church a couple weeks ago, and I want to conclude with this. I want my works to remain. Do you want yours to remain? I want to receive that heavenly reward God has prepared. I don't want to look, I don't know that God would do this, but I don't want God to look and say, now, Wayne, here's what you could have had. Let's say he reviews all my work, says, here you were selfish, here you were narcissistic, here you were just looking for attention, this is manipulation, here that was control. if you would have been sincere in all these moments, this is what you could have. Can you imagine what that would be like? And that's what's going to happen in heaven. I think we're going to know, oh man, what I forfeited through selfishness and fleshly, carnal living and ideology. And I want you to see it. And why would you preach on this? Because I want you to have a great heavenly experience. I mean, I believe, listen, to be in heaven, okay, great, yes. We're in heaven, and you might say, well, I don't even care if I get any reward when I get there, as long as I get there. Well, you probably won't feel that way when this moment transpires in your life. You probably won't feel that way anymore. So I want you, as we conclude today, I want you to think about that. What are you doing? And what of what you are doing is going to last and be rewarded for? And I want you to, let me go back, because, I said there are three kinds of works. There's good works, bad works, and poor works. So let's look at the terminology. He says gold, so we would think that gold would be the most precious, that the most pure, the most valuable kind of service that you do. Then he said silver, which we know is not quite as much desirable, but still a precious stone. It doesn't weigh as much in the sense of what you would receive from it. And then precious stones like diamonds or whatever. He's given those as examples of the qualities of our spiritual labor with God. And then wood, hay, or straw. Can you imagine all the people in the church right now that are doing woodwork? And I don't mean they're doing carpentry. They're doing woodwork or hay work or straw work. And they're feeling all good about it because, well, I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to do it because the pastor said to. Well, there goes your reward. That's wood or hay. I mean, I want you to see that because I want you to be aware that God is watching. So let's wrap up with this conversation as we head to the weekend. I want you to think that when Jesus wrote 7 letters to 7 churches, every single letter said, I know thy works. I know thy works. I know that works. I know all these things about you. I'm watching you. I'm aware of what you're doing. And I want to talk to you about what you're doing. I'm really concerned about what you are or are not doing. I want you to be aware that I know. Like, here's one. I'll read the first one. It's in Revelation chapter 2, verse 1. Church of Ephesus. Here's what he says, and we'll close. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write these things, saith he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. I know thy works. First thing. I know, I'm watching. I know your labor. I know your patience. Now, in this sense, he's complimenting them. I know your patience, and you can't bear those that are evil. You've tried those that say they're apostles and found out they're not, so you're holding on to the prudence of keeping Christianity full of integrity, and found them as liars and born and have had patience for my name's sake. Nevertheless, I have something against you because you've left your first love. See again, and if your works don't have the motivation of love behind them, just religion, well, they're not going to do any good. Those works are going to be trashed if they're not done out of sincere commitment and love for the Lord. It's really important. If you're a religious person, let's say you got $1,000, and you wave it up in the air like we see in the book of 1 Corinthians. You wave it. Look, everybody, look what I'm doing. You put that in. You just gave away $1,000, and you get no reward. Why? Because your motivation was for man. It was not really because you loved the Lord. Don't let the right hand know what the left hand. All that things about humility, and we really need to seek God on this stuff, because wouldn't it be awful to have done a lot of things that could have been rewarded for and lost that? And somebody might say, well, I've never heard a preacher preach this before. Yeah, but Paul wrote it, and we need to be aware of it. Jesus talked about it too, laying up treasures in heaven, not here on the earth. So, okay, kids, I'm going to do the wrap-up. Hopefully everything will work while I'm doing that, and then I'll come back and see your comments, and then we'll get out of here. You've been watching The Vital Axiom, and that stands for Crucially Important Eternal Truth, because we use the Word of God as the foundation for the conversations that we have here every day of the week. We just had one today. Started out a little sketchy, but we had it. I want to say thank you for watching the show and being a part of our family. I want to thank you for being a part of these crucially important eternal conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of the Vital Axiom. Let's see who's in here as we go. We missed some people. I think I did. Carol got in. Good morning, Carol. And then let's see, Diane got in there. Good morning, Diane. And Christina's in. How's it going up there in the hospital? I'm sure still. Aaron said, have a blessed weekend, everybody. Patty says, have a great weekend. And you keep preaching it, brother. Wake us up. Man, I'm trying. I want your heaven to be the best heaven. Great message today, Brother Wayne. Thanks for reminding us. Hey, man, I'm after it. Luann says, have a blessed weekend. You too, Luann. Bless you. Heather says, great message this week, Pastor. I myself need to hear it. We got to get after it, don't we? We got to get busy, get doing the work of God. Don't be just hearers, but doers. Put your hand to the plow, get busy. Debbie says, very enlightening message. Thank you so much. Wow, cool. I know there's so many things in the Word of God we just don't give our attention to. We just want to think about Jesus loves me and forgives me. But He's called us to work, amen. Hey, Sherry, how are you? I didn't see you in there. Thanks for the word, she says. There goes my, now Siri's on. I said Sherry, and she thought I said Siri. See if it'll come back. Wow, it's just one crazy thing after another, isn't it? Okay, well, I guess we'll leave today with no music, huh? That's what's going to happen. Love you guys. I got a little bit back. It's crazy. It's just one of those crazy things. Love y'all big. Have a great day. I'm out of here.